The Rose That Grew from Concrete by Tupac Shakur. The Rose That Grew from Concrete by Tupac Shakur. An original publication of MTV Books / Pocket Books. All rights reserved, including the right to reproduce this book and portions thereof in any forms. This audiobook was created solely for the purpose of educational use. Copyright infringement is not intended. This book is not for sale. To our children, we must support our children in every way we can. We must allow our children freedom to express themselves creatively. We must praise our children and thank them for their gift of inspiration. We must motivate our children spiritually. We must challenge our children to a higher level of achievement. We must increase our children's self-confidence and improve their overall quality of life. So we say to our children, draw, paint, write, act, sing, dance, think, express, and be free to dream always. Zinga, Malik, Imani, Zara, Keon, Little Jamala, Mia, Kiara, Avani, Maya, Jasmine B, Anike, Maja, Jasia, Jamil, Yusuf, Rubia, Helen, Jada, Carl, Milan, Select, Ashaki, Valencia, Adija, Liana, Little Imani, Alai, Kai, Alana, Remy, Riley, Eaton, Lee, Shaquan, Talia, Devani, Nico, Demoria, Alana, Henry III, Marquesa, Emily, Audrey, Andrew, Alyssa, Matthew, Brooke, Alex, Ariel, Jonathan, Ashley, Kayla, Jax, Rafi, Chantal, and Coy. Acknowledgments. Tupac, I am grateful to God for the most precious gift of your life, your friendship, your love, and your indomitably honest, true spirit. Sekual, wonderful woman, sweet child, courageous mother and sister. Thank you for walking this earth with me. Zinga and Malik, we continue to try to be better at preparing you for this world and this world for you. Create, love, and laugh. Gloria Jean and family, my sister who has been our rock for over 50 years. We are the only children of Rosabelle and Walter Williams Jr. I know they are smiling because we remember our duty to family. Outlaws, our Baltimore family, our Lumberton family, Lisa Lee, my team, Rick Fishbane, Donald David, Beth Fishbane, Jeff Glassman, Linda Amaya, Sandy Fox, Dina LaPolte and crew, Jeff Joyner and family, Rick Barlow and family, Henry Faison and family, Devaney, Talia, and Nico, the entire Johnson family, especially Sandra, for the food and the original egg roll recipe that fed Tupac for years. Belvy Rooks, Ebony Joanne, Sonia Sanchez, Nikki Giovanni, Kathleen, Ignay, Angela, Lyle, and Eleanor Giddens, Jasmine, Carolyn, Gigi, Charlene, Sheris, Henry, Akila, Cynthia McKinney, and Tremaine Maxey, Dana, Tom Whaley, Lisa Joseph, the Shakur Family Foundation, Thomas McCreary, Carl, Stacy, Felicia, and all our friends who have picked our spirits up during this journey into the light. We love you all. Joey Arbogay, Tracy Sherrod, Eduardo Braniff, Kalea Reed, Jack Horner, Mike Mitchell and Toby, Emily Bessler, Cara Welsh, YaH-Ra, Anthony Goff, Paolo Pepe, Jean Lee, Liz Brooks, Lisa Silfen, John Delaney, Stephen Follard. Thank you, Molly, for being the connector, the juggler, the struggler. You are stuck having to pull all the pieces together. Thank you for all the writing, reading, rereading, and for your effective communication skills. We all need you. Do we tell you enough? Jamal Joseph, Arvon Elihu, and James Kavanaugh. Poetry Circle, Lawanda Hunter, Ray Love, Damon, Jacinta, TJ, Latoya, Wilani and Ned, Arrow, and Monica McKnight. Dimfo and Tabejo, Young Imaginations, AIM, Kids Voices, Kaleidoscope, International Women's Convention, and Ashkenaz in Berkeley. All the high schools that let us read our poetry before the rest of the world gave us their permission. Karina Aboff, Reese Hogg, David and Herb Steinberg, Mac Mall, Tracy Robinson and Gobi, Talia and Devani. Afeni Shakur. My children, Shaquan, Talia, Devani, Nico, and all my other children, you are the reason I do this. My cup runneth over. Afeni Shakur, you gave your only son to not just me, but to the world. So many times when I have not had enough strength to even get out of bed, it is Pac's spirit that gives me breath. It is you who gave his spirit breath. For this and for allowing me to continue his work, I cannot pull into words my gratitude. Thank you. Tupac, I will continue to do your work with the portion of my soul that you didn't take with you. Layla Steinberg. Preface. Celebrate life through the music, through the spoken word, through the splatter of color on paper or wood or iron or canvas. But celebrate your life, celebrate your ability to feel joy and sadness. Celebrate your ability to feel. Only then will we be free to feel. I thank God and all my ancestors for the artistic Tupac, for the poetic Tupac. There was never a day when Tupac did not appreciate language. The sound and the rhythm of words did not intimidate him. He sought to interpret his world using all the visual and linguistic tools available to him. The battle between the discipline of intellect and the ravings of the soul is a fascinating one. These poems were written from 1989 to 1991, reflecting the heart and soul of my son. They represent the process of a young artist's journey to understand and accept a world of unthinkable contradictions. I always believe Tupac's work can and does speak for itself. I have nothing to add or detract. My responsibility is to do all I can to make sure he has been heard in venues and milieus that are appropriate to what he himself gave to his life and his work. Tupac put these poems in the safekeeping of Layla Steinberg, who was Tupac's first professional manager and adult friend. We are indebted to Layla for her integrity in looking after the safety of Tupac's work. Her loyalty has allowed us the ability to offer this work in this medium. Tupac had quite a few friends whose actions regarding his artistic integrity reflect a subconscious belief that he is still in the room. We thank all those of his peers, friends, and business associates who continue to act as though Tupac were still in the room. Thank you, my beautiful and wonderful son. You're a perfect mirror of my soul. When you're not here, I measure the space you used to occupy. Large areas become vast and endless. Deserts of you, not there. Afeni Shakur. Forward, Tupac, see you in heaven. I'm glad this collection of the poetry of Tupac Shakur is being published. Those of us who recognize not only his genius but light knew early on that young Shakur was special. He lit up the screen in juice and above the rim. His raps were tight and strong. We all said to ourselves, something good is coming. I guess it will always be the case that when someone brings a new idea, or more accurately, a truthful idea, there will be complaints. There will always be those people, especially those people who are wrong, who try to shut the truth and daring down. I remember when the Sugar Hill Gang started the new rap revolution, and they were fun. Grandmothers in stupid movies could imitate their rap, and old men could return from cocoon and break dance. It was just so, well, cute to play off the rap. Then along came Tupac. You don't see any senior takeoffs on his art. You don't see Hume Cronum and his friends hip-hopping down the street to holla if you hear me. No garden parties with grandma bopping up to something to die for. So they found a name, gangster rap, to somehow distinguish it from what? Polite, nice, highly compromised rap? They tried to isolate that beautiful boy who was trying to bring on the truth so that they could flood us with lies and excuses. People will stand up and really say stupid things like, I don't think profane language should be used. Or they're always cursing and stuff. And I think they can make their point without bad language. But I always think bad language is school vouchers, lower taxes on capital gains, don't ask, don't tell, and language like that, which silently or not so silently kills people who are different from what we want to think we are, but who in truth are not so different after all. Children have to be educated. The correct citizens to pay taxes are those who have money. People have a right to their own hearts, but mostly what I keep seeing is the emptiness of lives that have nothing better to do than judge and condemn. Tupac once said, only God can judge me. I say good for him. He had taken that step to understand that no matter what any of them say, you have an obligation to the universe to follow your own muse. I like Tupac Shakur in the same way I like Prince when he was Prince. When he wrote music that was a bit edgy, a bit out there, a bit daring. Whatever turned that beautiful boy, the rude boy, into a whiny symbol should rot in 5 different hells. Tupac stayed fresh and strong and committed to himself and his people. Yet, as this collection shows, he was a sensitive soul. The poems for the lovers in this life, for his mother, for his children in heaven show a boy who touches our souls. This too is Tupac. Just as people want to make Malcolm X an anti-integrationist, thereby changing the nature of his daring and his truth, people want us to overlook the sensitivity and love Tupac Shakur shows because, after all, if he loves, if he cries, if he cares, if he, in other words, is not a monster, then what have we done? What a great crime has been committed in the name of what? The status quo? How awful and ugly of us. One day, in the not-too-distant future, there will be a gathering in Atlanta much like the one in Memphis. You remember Memphis and Graceland. The Postmaster General of the United States invited Elvis family members to unveil the artist's concepts of Elvis. There was an 800 number for the young, pretty, slim Elvis, and another 800 number for the fat, drugged-out Elvis. We, the public, were invited to phone in our choice, and that would be the stamp. When the Malcolm X stamp was chosen, there was no gathering at Betty Shabazz home. No calling the girls, Malcolm and Betty's daughters, together with the Postmaster General. No artist conception inviting the public to choose between a smiling Malcolm and that frowny, ugly thing they produce. No choice between a Malcolm and Betty stamp and a Malcolm by himself stamp. In fact, as usual, white people decided what black people should want and did as they wished with the image of our hero. The Tupac stamp must go public. We, the public, demand the right to make choices. I want an image of a thoughtful Tupac with the words, "See you in heaven." He deserves to be taken seriously, and we must therefore mourn. Nikki Giovanni. Introduction. Tupac felt that through art, we could incite a new revolution that incorporated the heart, mind, body, spirit, and soul. He wanted his art to instill honesty, integrity, and respect. It was the spring of 1989 in Marin City when a young man with fan-like eyelashes, overflowing charisma, and the most infectious laugh began to make his way into my life. I was sitting on the grass outside Bayside Elementary School, reading Winnie Mandela's Part of My Soul Went With Him. A young man with big, beautiful, sparkling eyes came up behind me, quoting lines aloud from the book. It fascinated me that he knew the lines by heart. When he introduced himself as Tupac, I realized that he was the Tupac that friends had spoken to me about. I was a writer and producer working in the music industry, and he was an aspiring rapper looking for a manager. I did not have time to speak at length with him because I had a class to teach, a multicultural educational program, Young Imaginations. However, I was so impressed with him that I invited him to sit in on my class. After class, Tupac began to share his ideas on how the arts could be included in school curriculums to help the youth address some of the issues that they were experiencing in their lives. By combining art with education, Tupac felt we could begin to heal society's pain and confusion. I later invited him to participate in a weekly writing circle I had at my house. His first time there, he immediately took over and decided that we would write about what he wanted, not what I wanted. One of the first poems Tupac wrote with us, The Rose That Grew from Concrete, tells you a great deal about him in just a few lines. Tupac was the rose that grew in spite of all obstacles. His life shows that a young man/boy could rise, shine, grow, and bloom beyond overbearing conditions to become one of America's most beloved men. He also had the grace to make it all look easy. Tupac's accomplishments in 25 years far surpass what most people do in 3 of his lifetimes. These poetry circles continue for a long time. We were all broke and struggling, but Tupac was the only one who ever had really tasted any poverty. Only he could take potatoes when there was no meat and make the best tacos you ever tasted. And only he could make a gourmet meal out of top ramen noodles. He was a genius who became the group's greatest inspiration. Within 4 weeks of our meeting, Tupac appointed me as his manager. It has been several years since Tupac has passed, and a day does not go by that I do not think of him. I have kept a collection of the many poems that he wrote during the time of our poetry circle. The following poems show a side of Tupac Amaru Shakur that popular culture has yet to realize existed. Pensive, introspective, loving, and concerned about world affairs. There is no better way to get inside the mind and heart of an artist than to examine his artistic expressions. I hope these poems allow those who are fascinated by Tupac to see his sensitivity, insight, revolutionary mind, fears, passion, and sense of humor. Tupac's stature and recognition as a rapper is clear and unequivocal. However, his place as a literary artist/poet has yet to be recognized. I hope these poems, which Tupac wrote from his heart, will encourage people to take the first steps necessary to see his literary importance, as well as have us acknowledge the life struggles of young black men. Written when Tupac was 19, this poetry is free from the restraints of the music industry and all monetary pressures. It is free of the anger that came from getting shot, betrayed, and thrown in jail for a crime I believe he never committed. It is Tupac before his fame. For the past 7 years, Tupac's writings have been one of my most powerful teaching tools. I have participated in programs in schools, youth facilities, and a number of prisons all over the country. My most exciting work began in 1997 when Arvon Elihu invited me to participate in History 98, The Poetry and History of Tupac Shakur. This was a class Arvon was developing at UC Berkeley. Students from all races and backgrounds participated, discussing such issues as single parenting and poverty. Students and universities throughout the country have requested the teaching materials that Arvon compiled to initiate their own Tupac curriculum. Tupac was finally being recognized by academia. In the summer of 1998, I assisted Afeni Shakur, Tupac's mother, in developing the first annual Summer Youth Conference, Life Goes On. We spent more than a weekend in Sparta, Georgia, using Tupac's lyrics to conduct workshops that resulted in bringing new life into the hearts and minds of those in attendance. Participants travel from all over the nation to take advantage of the healing tool Tupac left us, his words. The following August, I was invited as a delegate to the International Women's Convention in Johannesburg, South Africa, to conduct a workshop with Enid Pickett on the power of art and education. Once again, the curriculum was based around Tupac's writings. I have since been invited to the Netherlands and Costa Rica to conduct similar programming. Now, Tupac's work, and especially these poems, are available to the public. I hope that they can attract the attention of those who have not given Tupac a fair chance, the same people who are quick to judge Tupac based on the media's sometimes negative portrayal. Tupac's poems can teach us about universal needs that textbooks rarely address. Poems such as And Tomorrow and Still I Wait for Dawn speak of the need to survive and wait for a better day. They also teach us that humanity as a whole suffers if anyone starves. Unfortunately, it took his death to teach us that when one man dies, we all bleed. Layla Steinberg. The Rose That Grew from Concrete. The Rose That Grew from Concrete. Autobiographical. Did you hear about the rose that grew from a crack in the concrete? Proving nature's laws wrong, it learned to walk without having feet. Funny it seems, but by keeping its dreams, it learned to breathe fresh air. Long live the rose that grew from concrete, when no one else even cared. In the depths of solitude dedicated to me, I exist in the depths of solitude, pondering my true goal, trying to find peace of mind and still preserve my soul, constantly yearning to be accepted and from all receive respect, never compromising but sometimes risky, and that is my only regret. A young heart with an old soul, how can there be peace? How can I be in the depths of solitude when there are two inside of me? This duo within me causes the perfect opportunity to learn and live twice as fast as those who accept simplicity. Sometimes I cry. Sometimes when I'm alone, I cry because I'm on my own. The tears I cry are bitter and warm. They flow with life but take no form. I cry because my heart is torn, and I find it difficult to carry on. If I had an ear to confide in, I would cry among my treasured friends. But who do you know that stops that long to help another carry on? The world moves fast, and it would rather pass you by than to stop and see what makes you cry. It's painful and sad, and sometimes I cry, and no one cares about why. Under the skies above, after the miscarriage, my child is out there somewhere, under the skies above, waiting anxiously for you and me to bless it with our love. A part of me, a part of you, and a part of this love we share will protect my unborn child who lives dormant out there somewhere. Sometimes in my dreams, I imagine what it would be like. How could I properly guide him when I don't know what's right? Whether he is born in wealth or poverty, there will be no deficiency in love. I welcome this gift of life, given from God under the skies above. Life through my eyes, life through my bloodshot eyes, was scared square to death. Poverty, murder, violence, and never a moment to rest. Fun and games are few, but treasure like gold to me, as I realize that I must return to my spot in poverty. But mark my words when I say, my heart will not exist unless my destiny comes through and puts an end to all of this. When your heart turns cold, to Kristen and my other friends who wonder. When your heart turns cold, it causes your soul to freeze. It spreads throughout your spirit like a ruthless feeling disease. The walls that once were down now stand firm and tall, safe from hate, love, pain, joy, until you feel nothing at all. When your heart turns cold, a baby's cry means nothing. A dead corpse is trivial. Mothers neglecting children is daily. Loneliness becomes your routine friend. Death seems like tranquility. Sleeping is never pleasant, if you even sleep at all. You forget ideals and turn off the reason to make sure the product gets sold. You don't understand how I behave. Just wait till your heart turns cold. Untitled. Please wake me when I'm free. I cannot bear captivity, where my culture, I'm told, holds no significance. I'll wither and die in ignorance, but my inner eye can see a race who reigned as kings in another place. The green of trees were rich and full, and every man spoke of beautiful men and women together as equals. War was gone because all was peaceful. But now, like a nightmare, I wake to see that I live like a prisoner of poverty. Please wake me when I'm free. I cannot bear captivity, for I would rather be stricken blind than to live without expression of mind. The eternal limit. From my mind to the depths of my soul, I yearn to achieve all my goals, and all of my free time will be spent on the ones I miss. I will lament. I am not a perfectionist, but I still seek perfection. I am not a great romantic, but yet I yearn for affection. Eternally, my mind will produce ways to put my talents to use. And when I'm done, no matter where I've been, I'll yearn to do it all again. Only for the righteous. I'm down with strictly dope, so that means I'm more than you can handle. Hot. I'm hotter than the wax from a candle. Him. That's rock. He's my microphone companion. Lyrics. Full of knowledge, truth, and understanding. Hobbies. Rapping is my only recreation. Retire. You must be on some kind of medication. Why? Because I'll never loosen up my mic grip. Drugs. Never, 'cause I'm living on the right tip. Sex. Only with my girl because I love her. Babies. Impossible, I always use a rubber. bored. Rarely, 'cause I keep myself busy. Scratch. Nah, I leave the cutting up to Dizzy. Dizzy? Yeah, that's my DJ. He's the greatest. Word? Nah, he's paying me to say this. The mind is something that I cultivate and treasure. Thanks. You're welcome. And besides, it was my pleasure. What a fame. Everyone knows your face. The world screams your name. Never again are you alone. The shining star within, dedicated to Marilyn Monroe. Secrets are hidden within the clouds of darkness, and in this place, no one dares to breathe in fear of self-expression. It has been this way forever and a day, until she came to shine, with a spark of innocence and questions, only to be answered with darkness. Not just darkness, but the silent kind that stills your soul and kills your mind. There was no compassion for this thriving star, only exploitations and confused jealousy. You saw no hope and brought the end, never acknowledging the star within. Starry Night, dedicated in memory of Vincent van Gogh, a creative heart obsessed with satisfying this dormant and uncaring society. You have given them the stars at night, and you have given them bountiful bouquets of sunflowers. But for you, there is only contempt, and though you pour yourself into that frame and present it so proudly, this world cannot accept your masterpieces from the heart. So on that starry night, you gave to us and you took away from us the one thing we never acknowledged, your life. If I fail, if in my quest to achieve my goals, I stumble or crumble and lose my soul, those that knew me would easily co-sign. There was never a life as hard as mine. No father, no money, no chance and no guide. I only follow my voice inside. If it guides me wrong and I do not win, I'll learn from mistakes and try to achieve again. What is it that I search for? I know not what I search for, but I know I have yet to find it, because it is invisible to the eye. My heart must search for it blinded, and if by chance I find it, will I know my mission is achieved? Can one come to conclusions before the question is conceived? Just as no one knows what lies beyond the shore, I will never find the answer to what it is that I search for. The fear in the heart of a man, dedicated to my heart. Against an attacker I will boldly take my stand, because my heart will show fear for no man. Before a broken heart, I run with fright, scared to be blind in a vulnerable night. I believe this fear is in every man. Some will acknowledge it, others will fail to understand. There is no fear in a shallow heart, because shallow hearts don't fall apart. But feeling hearts that truly care are fragile to the flow of air. And if I am to be true, then I must give my fragile heart. I may receive great joy, or you may return it ripped apart. God. When I was alone and had nothing, I asked for a friend to help me bear the pain. No one came. except God. When I needed a breath to rise from my sleep, no one could help me except God. When all I saw was sadness and I needed answers, no one could help me except God. So when I am asked who I give my unconditional love to, look for no other name except God.